what I'd heard, at some point in the night, almost a week ago, Alicia had gotten up to take their new Labrador puppy out to do its business. We'd had a terrible ice storm that day, and a thick coat of ice caked everything. The house I lived in looked like it had been wrapped in glass, and when I'd gone to bed that night, I had heard tree branches across the street on the town common snapping under the weight of the ice. Later, chunks fell off the house as a warm front swept through from the south, and I was grateful to be snug in my bed. Early in the morning, Alicia's husband woke to the sound of the puppy barking and crying. He found the sweet thing scratching at the back door, shivering, but otherwise okay. After calling for Alicia, he found her sprawled in the backyard with a head wound. Ice shattered around her. At first, everyone had thought it was a terrible accident, but later the medical examiner discovered the wound might not have been an accident. When Alicia had first been found, the scene wasn't treated as a crime scene, so any evidence had melted away. No footprints, no nothing. "Who are the suspects?" I asked. I assumed the husband. He had to be on the list as the last person to have seen her. "Did you know her?" Pelner asked. Of course, he wasn't going to answer my question. I shouldn't have bothered asking. "We occasionally crossed paths at the base thrift shop." "Do you know who her friends are?" I shook my head. "No, and I don't know who doesn't like her either." That's what he really wanted to know. Car doors slammed. We turned to see the hearse pull away. Pelner shook his head. "I need to go," his face still grim as he hurried off. 40 minutes later, I pushed my plate away from me. I'd polished off the better part of a small mushroom and sausage pizza, today's special. Angelo Di Napoli, the proprietor and my dear friend, didn't believe in pineapple on pizza and sneered at toppings like kale. According to Angelo, those weren't real pizzas. He stuck to the traditional and was excellent at what he did. Me, on the other hand, except for anchovies, I'd eat almost anything on a pizza, especially if someone else made it. I wished I could have a glass of wine to warm me, but I was meeting a client who was interested in having a garage sale. That was a rare thing in January in Massachusetts, so I needed the business. I was still cold from talking to Pelner in the parking lot, and every time someone opened the door, the wind nipped at my ankles like an overenthusiastic puppy. I shuddered, thinking again of Alicia. "You haven't been in for a while," Angelo said. His face was warm, his nose a little on the big side, and his hair way past receding, not that he cared. By a while, he meant 5 days. I'd been huddled at home. I looked around the restaurant. It was almost empty. The right side, where I sat, was lined with tables. To the left was the counter where you ordered, and behind it the open kitchen. I'd been in such a swirl of thoughts, I didn't notice the lunch rush had left, back to wherever they had to go. That explained my cold ankles. Angelo Di Napoli pulled out a chair and sat down. He wore his white chef's coat, a splash of marinara on the pocket. "Is everything okay?" he asked. "I just left a funeral." "For the woman who was murdered on base?" Angelo asked as he crossed himself. I nodded. She was like me, a younger version, only 25, 14 years younger than me. "How so?" "Active in the spouses club, volunteered at the thrift shop, didn't have kids." "You see yourself in her?" "Yes. I know what it's like to have to move somewhere you don't want to live and far from everyone you know and love, then do it over and over." I sighed. I didn't know anything about the military or military life when CJ and I met, and I was always afraid I'd do something that would hurt CJ's career. I had married my ex-husband, CJ, when I was only 18. During our first assignment, I asked a colonel's wife out to lunch because she was so friendly. We went to the officers' club and ate. Then there was this huge brouhaha that a lowly lieutenant's wife was out with a colonel's wife. She didn't care. I didn't care, but a lot of other people did. That doesn't sound easy.